there's a microphone right there to catch the last gurgles, and Technicolor to photograph the red swollen tongue.
Hey, Vern.
Future events such as these
Angling?
will affect you in the future.
Damn you, Rabbit! You smell like fucking piss!
You're watching The Projectors,
Hell yeah!
a film fan program discussing a variety of movies from history and around the world.
What do you think of this boner I got?
Featuring your hosts, Bob Sham
When you're Scandinavian, flopping out your mommy milkers is nothing.
and Angela.
If they were just gun perverts, this would be fine.
Party!
Thank you for selecting The Projectors.
I want French pancakes like at IHOP.
And now a preview of our film discussion.
After years of war, no one could stand between my men and home. Not even me.
Promise me you will come back.
What if I can't?
Spoilers.
Hey, welcome. We're back. So we're kind of back in the classic format now. We're just like reserving the recording sessions for one big chunk. So that's why you see multiple movie stuff around me. You can see that we are in the back rooms, and you can see that all the movie selections are from the last 6 to 8 months. These movies have all come out. So yeah, it's the new stuff showcase. We want to talk about new stuff, and then we're very behind on our states and our gangsters. Do you want to do New Jersey or gangsters next?
Gangsters.
Okay, we'll do gangsters next, and then we'll hit up states. We'll probably do like New Jersey and then part 1 of Georgia back to back.
Okay.
And then we have to talk about Catherine Bigelow movies. We might as well do 2 straight weeks of that. We could probably squeeze all that in 1 month. A Catherine Bigelow month.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
You cool?
Cool.
In general, you cool?
I'm the least excited about the Catherine Bigelow films.
Why?
I don't know.
Are
Because it's
you
like
not-
war movies,
you're
right?
not
She mostly
unexcited.
does like war stuff, right?
Well, it's kind of all over the place. She did
But she did Zero Dark 30.
She did and Near Dark, no relation.
Oh, right. Near
She
Dark.
did the
I forgot she
vampire
did
movie.
Near Dark. Okay, I'm excited again. I don't love Near Dark, but if she's got that in her back pocket, I'm sure there'll be something in there for me.
She did The Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30, which is what we're thinking of, which is essentially propaganda. Mm-hmm. But she did other things too. Point Break. Probably one of her most famous.
I have not rewatched that since I was a kid.
Or that movie, is it Strange Days? I think she did Strange Days.
Okay,
too.
now I am excited. I really just had her locked into that like Zero Dark 30 Hurt Locker zone, and I was like, I don't want to.
I mean, that is a little bit of a like what you've done for me lately,
right?
You know.
I mean, I'm sure she's getting the big dollars for that.
Hurt Locker won Best Picture that year, didn't it?
I don't think I saw that one.
We did. No, we saw it.
Okay, I just don't remember what it was about.
It's just okay. Definitely not Best Picture material.
Right.
But I
It's
think Zero
no
Dark
Meg
30
Ryan in a helicopter, right?
Well, now I got to think of that movie where Meg Ryan gets the Medal of Honor after she's dead.
Denzel is investigating her.
I think someone responded to that. Yeah, that's right. Someone had responded to our discussion of that, like, that we were being too hard on Meg Ryan or something. I don't know.
We were making fun of her a little bit. Listen, we're from the South. We can make fun of a bad Southern accent.
I mean, I would say, yeah, we can. Anyone else, anyone who's not white can make fun of us. Everyone else needs to shut up. You're not that much better, all right? Look, our government's rigged down here. I keep getting these clickbait things that are saying that that Tennessee is ranked worst place to live.
Sure.
In the country. Where we're from, where we're recording out in Middle Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, where we're from.
I mean, we're losing a lot of shit.
Yeah.
We're losing a lot.
It kind of does suck.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't want to hate my city. I've always had a love-hate relationship with the city. I mean, I grew up around, you know. But I'm a little burnt out on Nashville, I got to be honest. And a lot of people keep moving here.
We've been here a long-ass time.
But I feel like if we leave, Chuds will replace us at the same time. But no, I just want to be on a mid-Atlantic coast somewhere. That's kind of where I'm feeling. Somewhere, you know. Anyway.
For those playing along at home, let's keep track of how many places Bobby falls in love with while we do the states.
Yeah, I guess I'm open to all locations, really. I feel like I can get a lot out of a random-ass place.
Yeah.
That's a gift. I'm a good traveler, really.
There's never been a place that we've gone that we haven't fantasized about what our life would be like there.
Yeah, well, you know, what is like the shittiest place? Like, I always shit on Knoxville, Tennessee. I think Knoxville sucks.
I don't think Knoxville's as bad as you think it is.
What, UT shit?
No, but I feel like downtown Knoxville is like better than Chattanooga.
No. Look.
Chattanooga has better parks and stuff, but as far as like...
Chattanooga's overrated.
Shops
but
and
it is not as shitty as Knoxville.
Well, I haven't been to Knoxville many times.
Memphis is underrated. But it is a lot of crime there. That's why it's underrated. But it's still... I like that town. Would I live there? I don't know. If I move, I'm leaving the state. Let's be honest. I'm leaving the state entirely. But, and then I'm going to Texas, because that's where Tennesseans go to die, is Texas. That's why they call us the volunteer state. You're looking incredulous at me, but what I said is 100% true.
That Tennesseans go to die in Texas, and that's why they call us the volunteer state?
Why do they call Tennessee the volunteer state?
Because we help out in the war they did, right? Is like the Civil War.
What war? Oh, God. No, during the annexation of Texas, the Alamo.
Listen, I
the majority of people who volunteered for that war were from the state of Tennessee. Like, gobs of Tennesseans died at the Alamo, including, like, Davy Crockett.
Okay, I did know that.
Yeah.
I did know that there were a lot of people at the Alamo from here. Listen, I am never going to say that I know a whole heck of a lot about history. I'm not good at that.
Our state forefathers, Texas was good enough to die for them. Then that is our destiny. I'd rather go to, like, I don't know, anywhere else. Maybe like
you don't want to go to Florida. I'd rather go to Texas than Florida.
You know, you're right about that. I want to experience rolling brownouts. That's why I want to go to Texas. Anyway, we're digressing. I don't have notes for any of the movies we're discussing because this is the new stuff showcase.
Spoilers.
We're talking about movies that have come out fairly lately. As you can see with the collage of recent releases around me, we went to the movie at least twice. A couple of these three of them we watched on stream, but two of them were like fresh streams. Like when we watched them, they had dropped the next day.
Yeah, the day before.
So what order are we going to talk about these? Well, I decided to pick the order in which the movies made profit.
Okay.
As of now, the Odyssey is made a profit of $416,700,000, and that is technically lower than, say, Obsession at $457,300,000 and Project Hail Mary, which is $434,200,000. But the Odyssey is probably going to clear $1 billion because the IMAX theaters, even like a few weeks in, are still packing out. And
absolutely, and they're so expensive.
And the prices on it was $80 basically for us to go see in the legit 70 millimeter
IMAX. There's only 2. There's only 40 in the world, and we have one of them in Nashville.
Yeah, 2. The other is in the aforementioned Chattanooga.
Yeah.
So maybe Tennessee ain't that bad.
Rocket time, you'll always be home sweet home to me.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
How many does Texas have?
You cannot talk with ice in your mouth.
Okay, I swallowed. How many does Texas have?
I don't know.
Dallas probably has one. Houston probably has one. San Antonio probably has one.
Hey, let's
Austin
stop guessing.
Probably.
Let's stop guessing.
Corpus
There's 40
Christi.
in the entire world. In the world.
So I'm going to say that we're going to talk about the Odyssey first, hence the title of the episode that you're watching. We will release them in the order in which they've made profit. I'm going to give the edge to Odyssey because it's definitely going to surpass the very impressive draw of Obsession and Project Hail Mary, because Obsession and Project Hail Mary have been around a bit. They've made the money. The Odyssey is still counting right
And Obsession was quite a bit cheaper to make.
Now.
It had to be, right?
$750,000, and it made $457 million. I don't even.
That's amazing.
I don't even recall the marketing of this is just like word of mouth.
I didn't even
that
know.
People were
just
we're going to see it, and they were talking about it. That's how I never saw a commercial for it.
No, I heard someone talk about it on a podcast.
Yeah,
but that was it.
And that was it. But Odyssey did have a lot of marketing, so maybe. But I think it will clear $1 billion. So this movie has inspired a lot of dumbass culture war takes. I mean, I guess if you're a big epic poetry nerd, I think if you're the type that go back and I know there's one of the Odyssey's translators didn't like the movie very much. There are obviously some Nolan-esque liberties here in terms of themes, and it's like him being sad about being in the war when... Oh, spoilers, by the way. Spoilers for a 10,000-year-old poem. Or the adaptation thereof. But, I mean, there's...
And that's the key right there. The adaptation thereof.
I think also people are a lot of the dumb conversations are once again, right-wing people in their culture war nonsense pretending like they ever give a fuck about this poem in the first place. Pretending like they have read this. I think we've all been to the 8th grade. We've all been in the 8th grade, so we've read it, most of us. But just the conservative need for the sake of culture war identity nonsense, which is definitely rooted in white supremacist bullshit.
And it's just one person saying it, and then everyone else is just parroting it. Right? You're saying they're not reading it. They're not. They're not going and studying it, but they're hearing someone that they think is right about everything or has the same thoughts that they do saying this bullshit, and then they just repeat it.
They're waiting for their chud lord to come out and
tell them what to think.
Tell them what to be mad about. Mm-hmm. They used to be, a few years ago, they were pretending to care about a fucking mermaid, for fuck's sake.
Oh, yeah.
And it's y'all don't read. Most of y'all don't read. I'm not saying there's not intelligent conservatives that aren't well read, but I'm saying that 98% of you don't care that much about the proper displays of Greek identity. It's just, I'm getting secondhand. I'm not even mad at you for these opinions. I'm getting secondhand embarrassment. It's not anger at all. It's secondhand embarrassment. Uh-huh. And you think this movie's not Greek enough? I didn't see one person pay a monetary tax in this movie. Don't tell me this movie isn't Greek enough. Could there have been a few more euros consumed? Maybe.
There was no orgy.
That's true.
No one ate until they had to puke. Although they could have done that in that big feast hall.
One thing that every adaptation ignores of the Odyssey is that when Odysseus is meeting Calypso, there's a whole bunch of people there. He and Calypso were fucking for 7 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
it comes across in the film. Yeah, I do. Yes. And because she's in love with him. She's taking care of him. They're fucking.
Again, it's been a while. But I'm pretty sure he also fucked Cersei as well.
Okay.
Because it's like part of the process of like, my bad, you want some dick? You know, I guess.
Thanks for giving me my men back.
I kind of went back and like, I do want to read the Odyssey again, but
yeah.
But of course, I think the Odysseus is not as like, shit, you know, man, I was kind of a bad guy, right? Mm-hmm. I think the poetry Odysseus is like, yeah, I fucking did that, bro.
I think it takes Odysseus some time to get to that point.
And it's not like an advanced concept for Odysseus in the Christopher Nolan movie to be vaguely actually, it's kind of more about like the golden rule, and if you violate it, like the death of civility and how that's collapsing everything. And you could kind of interpret that as a kind of a right-wing kind of like a conservative kind of read on it. And I think that read is kind of fair. And not every conservative, a lot of conservatives that I've seen online, and I still hate most of them, they do, not all of them hate it. Some of them did read that. But of course, with the identity of it, of being like Lupita Nyong'o being Helena Troy, has the chuds upset. Elliot Page, transgender person. Lupita Nyong'o, literally one of the most uniquely attractive, beautiful women on the planet. Like, people don't look like her, and I think that's fine. But even like Helena Troy just kind of shoved it, like. It wasn't like she was presented in some like strong way either. She was essentially a victim.
You know, Matt Damon doesn't look Greek.
No.
At all.
I mean,
and neither does Spider-Man.
You go into any adaptation, and I mean, the Greeks supposedly looked a little different than now.
Sure.
Because the Ottomans came in and bronzed things up a little bit. But yeah, it's like, who fucking cares?
It doesn't matter.
It's
it
not
doesn't
even
matter
real.
If mermaids are Asian.
It's
it
not
doesn't
even real.
matter if Helen of Troy is a gorgeous black woman.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it like made her like they didn't girl boss Helen of Troy. She was kidnapped and like scarred up.
There was a clickbait thing that I didn't click on, and I actually wanted to go look this up before we talked about it, but I didn't. But it was saying that there is actually historical precedent for Elliot Page playing that role. Like, there were transgender people.
Yeah, and everyone was gay.
There always have been. But
the Romans stole being gay from the Greeks.
Yeah.
Like, if you want real accuracy in this, fucking gay penetration should be like every 15 minutes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Those guys on that ship, they were fucking.
Now, I don't have any notes. We're running on the seat of our pants, as you can see. And maybe that's for the best. But I do want to compliment Matt Damon in the role. I ended up liking him in this role a lot. And I think it's also the concept of him being this older movie star that we've known most of our adult lives. And like it's not lost on me. I actually kind of liked, like, it wasn't like a role he was getting lost in or anything, right? Mm-mm. But it was just like, it worked for me. And I felt like Christopher Nolan utilized him as a veteran movie star really well in this movie. And by the end of it, I just felt like I was convinced that, yeah, he really should have played this role. I thought he did a good job.
I knew as soon as I knew that it was him that it was going to be good, because the first thing I thought of was The Last Duel. I was so impressed with him in that movie, and I know that it wasn't something that a lot of people talked about, but he's really good.
Now, as far as like the balance of the fantastic, one thing that I did love mythology and stuff when I was a kid, and I did like the Odyssey when I was a kid. I probably read it a lot when I was young, but just not much as an adult. Because there's monsters in it, right? There's the Cyclops, there's the Sirens, right? And there's also the gods themselves make a very, like, obvious role. I mean, the Odyssey is almost like it's like superheroes long before we came up with that word, right? But the movie doesn't have Hermes coming down or no visual of Poseidon, or I don't know if there ever is one. But they do talk about how the Cyclops is Poseidon's son. Mm-hmm. And the Cyclops scene was really cool, too. Maybe among my favorite, and one that I loved when I was a kid.
I especially appreciated the design of the Cyclops. Yeah. I haven't seen that many versions of Cyclops, but...
They pussyfied his eye. They did They did it as though he
was just a deformed
No,
person.
Cyclops, you're perfect.
But you know what I mean. His nose was down and his eye was over, and it wasn't like just a guy with a big eye in the middle of his forehead, which I've seen before.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the Cyclops right next to me here.
Yeah, it was just more interesting to me than what I might have expected them to do.
Yeah, and also big compliment for this movie, a lot of practical effects. I watched this little video where they made like edible meat bags out of the little soldiers the Cyclops was eating, and the props guy was like biting heads off soldiers and shit. Yeah, that was really cool, and I gotta give Nolan props for doing that. I will say that we were so close to the screen at our IMAX viewing, we're like looking up, like that Willem Dafoe meme where he's just staring into the sky. And I don't know if that was the best way to see it, because some things seemed like shadowed. It wasn't a very bright movie. It appeared that maybe there was a lot, he was kind of trying to hinge more on a natural looking light. And that screen was just fucking big. Did you think we were too close ultimately?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as hard for me to watch it as I thought it would be.
No, I felt the mode. I got into the mode.
Yeah, the only time it was sort of hard for me to focus was in the fighting scenes. When there's multiple people moving on the screen at the same time, it was kind of hard to take in because it didn't all fit in your vision at the same time.
I do have some complaints about this movie, and I think what you just described, the suitor battle and the climax of it, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little drag ass, maybe a little too muddy looking. It maybe could have looked cooler. Of course, I'm looking over here at one guy stabbing a guy, and the guy, I don't know, like right up on that screen, but it came off a little muddy from where we were sitting, and like not as compelling as at least everything else that we sat through in the movie. And another thing, and this is someone that I usually actually kind of like. I like her general swag and presence in movies. She's a big movie star too. Charlize Theron as Calypso. I don't know if I really like love the way that was delivered to him. I mean, I do think in the poem Calypso does know that Odysseus has to go. Like she is consigned to the fact that he must go. But I don't know. There's just something about that I felt like was not very impressive.
Like me. The way they wrote it.
I guess
the
so.
Story that she told about how like you have to know now.
And I'm not against her. I genuinely think she's cool.
Yeah.
Like her in and of herself. But I was just like, okay. I think when she's on that screen, I'm just like.
I didn't feel that way about her. I felt that way more about the suitors. Anytime we went in that big room, I didn't care very much.
The suitors was drag ass.
Unless John Leguizamo and the dog were there, I was fine with that. But otherwise, I didn't really care.
Hey, I haven't seen Leguizamo in a role this big in a while.
It was nice to see him.
Yeah.
And I thought in this role, he was great.
Yeah.
I really did. And I've seen his worst movie in the theater as well. So I saw The Pest.
Summer of Sam? No, I don't think that movie's bad. I think it's weird, but
Spawn.
I don't think it's bad. Spawn. I've never seen Spawn. How have I never seen Spawn?
I don't think I've seen the whole thing, or I wasn't paying attention, but I've seen bits of it at least.
Maybe we got to do it for the show.
We should.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I didn't mind her because I think that she brought a level of sadness also. She loved him, but she knew that if he was not on drugs, he would not love her. Mm-hmm. Because he would remember the person he really loved. She wanted to be that person, I think. And I don't think she maybe started out fucking him, but I do think they did. I think they had a relationship. He was there for 7 years. But it just seemed like she got to the point where she realized that more of it was breaking through, and it was one of those, she loved him so much she had to let him go. And I understand maybe why that felt slow, but I thought she did it well for what she had to do. I was okay with it.
I don't think I was enthralled with the execution.
I wanted it to move a little faster.
Yeah.
It was kind of too many cuts back to that.
In terms of like movie length, I'm surprised it didn't clear 3 hours. I was totally like, it was just under.
Yeah.
And I would say that's actually, I was surprised that it was slightly under 3 hours because I was like, I'm strap in 3.5. That's what I was preparing for.
Most of the time, it moved fairly well.
Yeah.
I never felt like, oh God, when is this going to be over?
Really only until these scenes we're talking about did I feel like I was bogging down. I was pretty much enthralled through the whole thing. Even like the flashback Telemachus stuff where he's going to talk to the old general who's played by John Bernthal, who's always eating. That man is always eating. He's in the movie Widows for like 2 minutes, and he's eating the whole time. Every time you see this man, he is eating. Or shooting.
Yeah.
As the Punisher, I guess. He will be in the new Spider-Man movie as the Punisher.
Oh.
Which I think opens, as of this recording, this coming weekend.
I want to go.
We're kind of on the hook for the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, they're my favorite.
I mean, I'm up and down on them.
Of the superheroes at this point.
I'm up and down on them sometimes, but I think for the most part they're good.
I think because even if it's not a super strong story or whatever, they're always fun. There's always a funness to the new Spider-Man movies.
I think they are, I do like the Sam Raimi one a lot.
Yeah.
I think the second one's a little overrated, though it looks great.
The dancing scene, that's the part you like.
No, you're thinking of 3.
Oh, yes. Okay, well.
Yeah, everyone makes fun of that one. So, what else are we thinking about in this movie? We did get some stuff about the Iliad because we see a Helen of Troy, but she's essentially, and it is kind of an obvious clue as to the surface theme of the movie. It's not that deep to have this casual, like, the death of civility, the regrets of war. Like I said, I think it actually is easy to have a conservative mindset and get something out of that. Mm-hmm. It's just that if you're just overtly bogged down into some reactionary identity politic, culture war shit, you're probably not going to enjoy anything because your brain is just constantly fucking rigged. Elliot Page plays, what is that character's name?
Sinan.
But it's the character that can't be in on the Trojan horse. They go to hell, too. That's also probably the most fantastical thing. And that's where Odysseus meets the Elliot Page's character. I forget the character's name.
Sinan.
That died, so they have to question there. What did you think of the hell scene when they're like... they looked like they were just in Iceland by a volcano.
The Hades sequence was filmed in Iceland during June, taking advantage of the eerie, never-ending daylight of the midnight sun.
Well, I didn't think I know they were in hell, but I never thought of it that way when I was watching it because it just seemed as though the dead were coming to them. It felt and looked like people were just coming out of the ground and questioning. I liked that aspect of it. I like the... you can ask a question, but they're going to fucking run you through, too.
I think what's interesting about the Odyssey is that it feels like he's hopping the globe, but I think even in the context of the fiction, he's just in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, and he just decided to go left when the guy he was supposed to be following went right. That was his big mistake at the beginning. If he had just gone home with the other boats, no problem.
And what other monsters did we get? We got the
Sirens.
The Sirens, which I loved how I used to love the Sirens as a kid too, like the concept of them. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was actually smart to not try to come up with what they were sounding like.
Yes, just to have it be like.
Because how do you even do that?
I like that.
So we're just seeing it muffled and we're seeing him react to it. Mm-hmm. But you see the Sirens from far away and you can tell that there's something different about them. Mm-hmm. But like they're far enough away you can't really tell.
Yeah, they're otherworldly.
And then you had the multi-headed thing that comes down. It looks very like vague, that creature, when they're getting past the whirlpool, which in and of itself is a monster creating that whirlpool.
And I don't think that was extremely clear because I don't remember the story very well from the poem. And I did know there were 2 things, and he could either go through the whirlpool and everyone was going to die, or he could go over here and some people would get eaten by this monster. But it wasn't clear what the monster was. It wasn't clear that the whirlpool was a monster. And when the arms were coming down, that's maybe one of the only effects that I didn't think was done well because I didn't know they were mouths. It was just confusing. I couldn't tell if they were suckers.
It was like they didn't have any other features.
Yeah. It was a little weird. That was maybe my least favorite. That was my least favorite of the monster scenes.
Yeah. The movie definitely flirts with these fantastic elements, but it doesn't like linger on them. Mm-hmm. Like the hell scene probably felt like the most fantastic.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like people were coming out of the dimensions. These people who were dead are coming back to life or whatever.
I also liked, you were talking about the practical effects, the scene where they come upon this large people. I don't want to say giant, but like the kid who was a child was as big as the men.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh God, where's their parents, right? And then these guys come up and I think I sent you this. I found a video showing that it was actually all these guys that were like 7 foot tall, and they had a 5 foot woman in Matt Damon's outfit.
Yeah.
And that was just perspective and true height.
I know.
It was so good.
His stunt double was a lady.
She was like, being all sassy and showing her muscles. It was cute.
The thing where the giants just run up on them, and that like they think they're walking up on a grown woman, and then the person turns around, it's a child's face.
Mm-hmm.
Those attacking giant scene was probably maybe even scarier than the Cyclops scene, because those dudes just look like they see like the Cyclops at least was easy to trick.
I had empathy for the Cyclops.
Yeah. I mean, they are in his crib stealing his stuff.
Exactly. And he's just alone. And then they blind him.
Yeah.
And then he's alone and blind.
Yeah.
Like, it was that part hit me a little bit. You know, I mean, I know I only really cried about the dog, but
oh yeah.
The Cyclops was the other thing that I was most emotional about.
I forgot to even go through the credits of this. We're talking about the Odyssey from 2026 this year. Maybe is going to be the biggest movie all year, directed by Christopher Nolan, written by him, based on a 10,000-year-old poem by Homer, who allegedly is a real person, starring Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson, Lupita Nyong'o, Samantha Morton, who we'll get into, Zendaya, Charlize Theron, so many more too. Cinematography by Hoyt van Hoytma, who did the cinematography for Oppenheimer. And what other movie did we discuss? Let the Right One In. I think he did the cinematography for that one. Mm-hmm. And what else? There's like one more. I think it was an M. Night Shyamalan movie he did it for, if I'm not mistaken.
Did he do the Cabin at the End of the World?
I can't remember. You know, that's maybe. I can't claim it, though. Also, yeah, John Leguizamo, John Bernthal, Elliot Page, Agamemnon. Maybe some of the history nerds might be angry that there's too many swords and that people aren't walking around with baskets on their heads, like lore, like historical specific. But when you look at Agamemnon and the way he was portrayed, almost this mysterious force, and he's really like, when you see him, he's like, he feels larger than life. And when they talk about his mistakes and like the bad things he did, a lot of that is like very brief. Like you never see his face. Mm-hmm. He was played by Benny Safdie.
I called it though. As soon as I didn't know watching it, but as soon as I saw his name, I was like, those were his fucking curls. I have a crush on Benny Safdie.
And what about Josh?
I don't even know what he looks like.
He's like a smaller statured Benny.
Well, then he's probably cute.
Sure. But Agamemnon looked cool. This is what I always go for with movies. Mm-hmm. Especially a movie like this, when it's all fictional anyway. You go for the coolest looking thing. That's what movies are all about, all right? It's a different kind of movie if you want to be super... And I wouldn't be against a very visually historical accurate thing, but still keep in mind, we're talking about Cyclopses and Zeuses and shit, you know? Like, we don't have to be that uptight about this. I mean, even the history is made up here, you know? And it's not like they didn't have actual history to go on at the time, but... Samantha Morton as Circe, cool scene too. Odysseus didn't fuck her like he did in the poem. Pretty sure he did. But
this Circe wouldn't have wanted to fuck him.
No,
she hated the men.
She hated men. Maybe this is another thing that the conservatives liked. This man-hating witch turning men into pigs had to be pollited into her place by the Odysseus.
I loved the aspect of that where she said that it wasn't her decision to turn them into pigs. That was their true nature because they passed lions and tigers and a panther. So there had been men that had come there who their essence was a tiger or a sheep.
Odysseus was like, please, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Men are bad. Can I have my men?
Oh, what did he do? He was going to kill the bird, right? Her sister?
That's right.
That's how he got her to do it.
Because that was her sister in the thing.
Yeah.
So he wasn't like I saw. Actually, he was I saw we, But he
tried I saw we, but it didn't work.
He was legit I saw we.
But she was like, eat my stew,
and he was like, okay, I'm going to kill your sister. I saw we, I'm going to kill your sister.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we get into the big suitor battle after all this mess. I mean, we're just kind of bouncing around all over the place and drag. I will say that the story of Odysseus, I mean, Odysseus is the only man that can string this bow, right? Mm-hmm. And he'd shoot through the axe handles, and they showed him as the axes were propped up, and he just shot like right through. When I was a kid, I pictured, an axe. You take the head off the axe, and it's a small loop that the wood went through on the top. When I was a kid, I thought Odysseus was shooting through multiple axe heads of the small hole at the top of a detached literal axe head.
Maybe he was.
Which is way more impressive than... I mean, the most impressive part is him stringing it, because we saw 10 guys not be able to do it. But once he strung it, it didn't seem like what he had to do after that was that hard. But the Odyssey in my brain when I was a kid, that shit was hard. You had to shoot through, 20 little axe heads in a hole like that big? Mm-hmm. That's Odysseus level shit. That's Robin Hood shit. That's Hawkeye shit. Mm-hmm. Now the dog, which is very sad, where the dog stays alive for 20 years waiting for his master to return until finally, and it's pretty much like that in the poem where the master finally returns, the dog sees him, and then he can pass away. When we got home, we have a little dog that was diagnosed with lymphoma. Her sister was too when we lost her the year before. And watching all the dog stuff, it was kind of hard not to think of our little dog. And when we came home, and we knew she wasn't in a good way. She had lymphoma. It was only a matter of time. And then when we came home, she was not able to get up. So it's like this, I don't know, like, life is weird and tragic and sad, but sometimes, like, it just rhymes in a way that's very bizarre. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I wouldn't say I'm completely zero spiritual guy. I tend to be skeptical, but, like, sometimes the way things just kind of lead into one another is just strange. That's the best way I can say it. Mm-hmm. And I think the weird thing about spirituality is that, like, I can't accept something that is all about me, but, like, because sometimes everything feels like so centered. People will take it too centered of themselves, I wouldn't want to ever use, even if I felt some faith, I wouldn't want to use it as an excuse or anything, right? But yeah, life is beautiful and tragic, and we miss our BB for sure. And we lost her 2 hours after we came home from the movie, which was late as fuck. Because our dogs can't die during office hours where it's like $300 cheaper.
Robert.
A little gallows humor to get us through, but we love our dogs. We miss them all very much. And we're down to one. We're down to our Bruce, which is weird. Been a long time since we're down to one dog.
We both looked on the ground, but he's in bed.
Yeah,
he doesn't like it when we record very much because we don't pet him.
So we're lost in the back room. As you can see if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that we're lost in the back rooms, which we'll talk about next week or after that. But the Odyssey, I would say, we'll go ahead and review it in our noteless discussion here. Sorry if it rambled so much, folks. It took us a while to kind of figure out how to get going on this one. Mm-hmm. But the Odyssey, I would say, overall, I had a good time at the movies. I do kind of like an event like this, except for Star Wars. I feel a little burnt out on Star Wars, but Christopher Nolan is just one of those guys, one of the few left that can make a movie and everyone will go see it. And as far as the chuds thinking that it's supposed to be woke or leftist, I did not interpret this as a leftist movie, even though it had a progressive cast, I guess you could call it. I wouldn't describe it like that at all. I felt like it was very kind of basic decorum centered kind of which you can merit its own criticisms, but that's essentially what it boils down to. I don't think Christopher Nolan is maybe a Hollywood liberal at the most, but he seems to be a pretty centrist kind of guy. I mean, if you want right-wing Nolan, go watch The Dark Knight Strikes Back, or the third one, where all the cops have to like attack. They don't have guns for some reason, and they have to go to war with the homeless people. So yeah, he's done some dumb shit.
So what do you rate it?
I think it's solid 4 movie.
Me too. I already wrote it down actually.
4. So an 8 for the Odyssey. I think you could argue a lot of our scores, but I feel like the Odyssey at 8. It really doesn't feel like more than that, and it feels like good enough to not be less than that.
Absolutely.
Hence why we scored it that. All right, folks. Our next discussion. Join us, I think, tomorrow, whenever. Like I said, we're spreading these out one at a time, classic style. Big group recording, individuals, movie discussion spread out. So the next phenomenon of this year is Obsession. So join us. And we will be back soon.
Thank you for watching and listening to the Projectors Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube or your preferred podcast listening application, where we have hundreds more film discussions. Though our more recent episodes will be spread out, we are currently reposting episodes of our very first film podcast called Documenteers, in which we discuss documentary films. We're reposting those episodes every Tuesday until we're done, as well as anthology collections of our shorts once a month. Help us out by subscribing, recommending, listening, and leaving a nice review of the show wherever you can do such things. Thank you once again, and we formally apologize for anything Bob ever said.